Welcome to Form 1 Mathematics, DLP, Chapter 1, Rational Number, Subtopic 1.1, Integers. Okay, for this subtopic, by the end of the lesson, you can recognize positive and negative number based on real life situation, represent integers on number lines, relate the values and positions of the integers on number lines, and connect the position of other integers on number line. Okay, what is integers? Now if you look at these pictures on the screen, you can see that there are a few examples of integer that we use in our daily life, right? The most usual one is here. It is known as a speedometer. Okay, usually you'll find this one in vehicles, so it can be cars, lorry, motorcycles. And then in science, you already learned about sea level. Okay, so above sea level and below sea level. So I got another example here. Okay, sea level. Okay, we got below sea level and above sea level. Okay, in finance, okay, in business, you will usually see the graph like this for share markets, okay, where the stocks goes up and down. And we have a thermometer. Okay, so this thermometer uses a Fahrenheit unit. So in Malaysia, we usually use degrees Celsius to measure our temperature. Okay, we'll see this one a little bit more. Okay, so in our daily lives, we encounter integers on daily basis. Okay, for example, date. So 26th of January 2021, or time, 9 a.m. in a 24-hour system, or temperature, okay, in 28 degrees Celsius. So integers are whole numbers. Okay, there is no decimal. Also, there is no fraction. Okay, so these are integers. Okay, other than that, if I say 3 kilogram, this one is integer. But if it's 3.5 kilogram, then this is not integer. If I say half a kilo, this is not integer. But 500 gram, this one is integer. Okay, or 500.25 gram, this is not integer. Okay, I can say the temperature is negative 10 degree Fahrenheit. This is integer. But if it's a negative 10.5 degree Fahrenheit, then this is not integer. Okay, so from my example, you see that integers comes in a positive and negative value. So let's look at the picture again. Okay, so you see the one that I have circled. These are the integer in negative value. Okay, so if it's a negative value in a business stock share market, it means that it loses money. Okay, if it's a below sea level, it's usually that we need to dive, or we need to use swimming suit, we need to use submarine, something like that, in order to go below sea level. Okay, but not everything has a negative value. not everything has a negative integer value. For example, human weight. Okay, there is no such thing as a negative 5 kilogram of human weight. Or time of the day, we don't say negative 3 a.m. Okay, or a volume of a water bottle. So a volume of a water bottle, usually we do write 500 ml, but you never see negative 50 ml. Okay, so not everything has a positive and a negative together. Okay, some of them only have one of each. Most of the time we know that they are positive integer. Right? So in mathematics, there are positions for us to write the positive and the negative number. Okay, so usually the left side is for negative and the right side is for positive. Likewise, the bottom, okay, or the below is for negative and the top is for positive integer. So you might see something like this before. Okay, this is a Cartesian plane where you learn about coordinates. Okay, so in this Cartesian plane, we know that for the x-axis on the right side is a positive value, whereas on the left side it is a negative value. For the y-axis, the one on the top is a positive integer. The one at the bottom, it is a negative integer. Alright, so let's look at an example. Okay, so if you have the textbook for Form 1, we can turn to page 2. So in this question, car A, the one that is a pink purple color, moves towards the right. Well, the car B, the green color car, moves towards the left. Okay, so car A moves 40 meters to the right, while the car B moves 50 meters to the left. Right, the question wants us to represent the movement of the car A and car B using positive or negative number. Alright, so previously we already see that for left and right, the right will be the positive integer and the left will be the negative integer. Alright, so the pink car A, moves to the right side, so it is a positive 40 meters. And then for car B, it is moving towards the left side, so it's a negative 50 meters. Alright, for this question, for this topic, when the question says positive number or negative number, you must use the positive or the negative sign in front of the number. Okay, to indicate is it going to the negative side or is it going to the positive side. Right, so this is how we write for positive negative representation. Okay, let's try a question. Okay, question 1a. Okay, so for this question we want to write a positive negative number. Alright, so we got a helicopter here, a pink color helicopter. Okay, so this pink color helicopter is above the sea level by 1000 meters. Okay, so we want to represent the height of the helicopter. So because it is above sea level, okay, so we already learned that if it's on the top, it is a positive number. So to represent this, we are going to write positive 1000 meters. Okay, for the submarine, which is below sea level, okay, so below is a negative representation by 250 meters. let's look at question B. Okay, making profit. Profit, that is something that we earn money. So the money is ours. So when we earn money, it's a positive 2,000. And then incurring a loss. Loss, we don't earn money, we lose the money. Okay, the money is not ours anymore. So when it's not ours, is negative 500 ringgit. So this is how you write to represent profit and loss. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Alright, so we already learned what is integer at the front. So let's look at this example. Okay, determine whether each of the following numbers is an integer. Okay, let's remember, integer doesn't have fraction, it doesn't have decimal. Okay, it can be in positive number, it can be negative number. So let's see. So 15. Okay, this one is a integer. 23 is an integer. This one got decimal, so it's not integer. Okay, negative 76. This one is integer. 0 is an integer. 1/2 is a fraction, so this is not integer. Okay, 6 is an integer. 0 point, so we got decimal, so not an integer. Negative 4/5, which is a fraction, so it's not an integer. 301, negative 239. So this is an integer. Are we clear? Okay, if you're not clear, you can always rewind and look at the front. Now we already know that the left side is for a negative number and the right side is for a positive number. Okay, we want to learn how to represent them in number line. So we know there's a line here for us. Okay, so this line is what we call as number line. Alright, so I'm going to use an example. The easiest one is I put a 0 somewhere in the middle of this number line. So you already know that on the right side, after 0 is 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, this is what you already learned. Now on the left side, we are going to repeat the pattern, but this time with the negative. So negative 1, negative 2, negative 3, negative 4. So remember, on the left side is for the negative number, and on the right side it will be the positive number. Okay, let's look. If this one will be in 1, what happens if I start with 5? So you already learned that the distance between the number, it has to be a uniform. So if it's 5, next one will be 10, 15, 20, 25. We are going to repeat the same thing, but this time with negative at the front. So negative 10, negative 5, negative 10, negative 15, negative 20. Okay, make sure the numbers are in a uniform scale. Okay, let's look. We know that not every time there will be a 0. Okay, but I know that from this number line, let me change color so that you don't get confused. Okay, we know that from this number, okay, the given number are negative 36, negative 6, negative 36. Okay, and on the example on the number line, we already have negative 12. So we know that for this side is for a negative number. So I'm going to use a short form, negative. And somewhere on the other side, it will be for the positive number. Right, look at the question. There are two numbers, okay, which will be on the right side. So one is 6, the other one is negative 6. So if you can see the pattern of the number, it is actually in a multiple table of 6. So before negative 12, okay, if I minus 6, I will get negative 6. And then this one will be 0. The next one will be 6. So if you remember your table, it was 6, 12, 18. Let's not forget the negative. After 18 will be 24. The next one will be negative 30. Last one will be negative 36. Okay, so they are in a uniform scale of 6. Let's try one of these number line. Right, we start with the easy one because this one got 0. Oh, this is the same question example that I used just now. So the uniform scale between this one is a 5. So 0, 5, 10. Okay, so after 0, negative 5. So 5, 10, 15, 20. And then remember your negative. Alright, we don't have 0 all the time. But if you see that this number, one side will be negative, the other side is positive. So for sure that there's a 0 here. So I know that this is in the time multiplication table of 8. So we got 8. After that will be 16, 24, 32. And then this one is 8, 16. Now make sure you remember your negative. Okay, so if you want to pause the video, you can try to answer question 3 and question 4. Okay, have you tried it? Okay, if you already tried it, this is the answer. So this one is in the multiplication of 2. So 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. Alright. So the other one will be 6, 0. So after that will be 18. And after 18 will be 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24. Sorry, I forget. Brains freeze. Okay. Did you get all correct? If you get all correct, very good for you. Alright. You already know how to position the number for the positive and negative number. Okay, now we want to learn about the value. Okay, you already know that 5 is smaller than 10. 15 is smaller than 15 is larger than 10. However, for negative number, negative 5 is actually larger or bigger than negative 10. Okay, so if you notice that from for 15, 10, 5, 0, the more that it goes towards the left, the smaller the value. Okay, value, not the number, not the size of the number, but the value becomes smaller. And then if you look at the positive number, it's getting bigger. 5, 10, 15. It's getting bigger when it goes towards the right side. So when it goes towards, it means that it is getting larger. The value become larger or bigger, whatever you want to call it. Okay, so based on what we understand just now, let's try to arrange the number. Okay, arrange the integer. Okay, arrange the following integer in ascending order. Okay, if you have problem remembering which one is going from small to big or from bigger to smaller. Okay, A. Alphabet starts with A, so it must be from the small to the bigger. So we want to identify if it's from small to big. From the previous example, the left side will have the smallest, the right side will have the largest. Okay, so the smallest value, because we have negative here, okay, we want to put the negative number first. So in between negative 6, negative 19 and negative 1, I know that if the number looks big, it means it is the smallest. So I'm going to put negative 19 because that one is the smallest, followed by negative 6, negative 1. So we only have 3 negative number. Next, we look at the positive integer. Okay, so I know that 0 is the smallest between them. The next smallest one will be 5, right? And then 12, 22, 30. Okay, I conveniently put a number line down here so that it can reverse if you need to. So this one is smaller, and then going to that side will be larger. Okay, we'll look at the second question. Arrange the following integer in descending order. Okay, so we got ascending and descending. Right, if you have problem remembering ascending and descending, D, just remember the word down. Okay, down means that it will be from the big to the smallest. Okay, from the biggest to the smaller. If it's from the biggest, so we start from the positive integer. Right, so I'm going to highlight all the positive integer first. Okay, so in between the 4 integers that are already highlighted, number 20 will be the largest, followed by 11, 8, 7. Okay, now we got a negative integer left. So in between the 3 integers, negative come first. Okay, and then negative 4. The smallest one will be negative 25. Okay, so this is how you arrange the integer depending on the order, ascending or descending order. Alright, so if you want to understand more, you can try to do the exercise in your textbook, Self-Practice 1.1b, Self-Practice 1.1c, and Self-Practice 1.1d. Okay, so this is the lesson for 1.1 integer. I hope you enjoy my lesson. Until then, I see you in my next class. Thank you. Goodbye.